Ingrid, you're the program director of the A Space. Can you tell us a little bit about the A Space and the concept and when it all started?
A Space started actually before it became incorporated as a non-profit organization. It started as a private gallery, which at the time in 1968, it was an alternative private gallery because there weren't many galleries around in Toronto to begin with, and especially not alternative private galleries that would show emerging artists and people who had just graduated and local Canadian artists, because at the time, even still when A Space became a non-profit organization in 1971, they still, the AGO was the only big gallery in town, and they would still primarily show dead European artists. So there was a real need to have alternative galleries. In the beginning they would call them alternative galleries or parallel galleries, and then I think in the late 70s, early 80s, we became known as artist-run centers. And the whole movement of artist-run centers and artist-run culture has really become very much established over the last 20 years. And A Space is one of the oldest, I think, oldest surviving ones in the country, because survival is now a key issue.
Okay, well, how do the artists come to find out about A Space? Do you find them, or do they all come to you?
It works both ways. We try to do as much outreach to both an audience and membership and artists to show at A Space. We have a submissions policy, so artists would apply to have an exhibition at A Space. They would apply to a deadline either in May or in November. Other exhibitions we get through community connections. This exhibition, for example, is one that we got through Canvaya because the board. I was actually talking about how artists showed at A Space, how they know about A Space.
The stuff that we're talking about, did we get a lot of stuff on it? Should we start that again? Sure.
Okay. Well, the way artists come to A Space, there's a number of ways that people show at A Space. One is the open submissions, where people would submit their proposal. They write a description of their project. They send slides or videos or sound tapes, depending on what they're trying, what they're aiming for. And we have 2 deadlines per year, and then the programming committee would go through all of the submissions, and they would select what they think is a good show both for the gallery and for the artist. There's another way that artists could get shown here, and that would be through the board's direct invitation, which is what happened with this exhibition, that we invited Canvaya to submit, to actually curate an exhibition independently. So the artists were chosen by Rosalie as the Canvaya appointed curator, and it did not go through the programming committee. So it's a very good invitational, where the programming committee doesn't decide who the artists are, but it's actually another organization who is invited by the board. And the board has a few other programs that the board initiates, and the programming committee itself also initiates exhibitions, so they would invite somebody. So there's a number of ways, and it's quite open